I will read the updated sunshine law, which is in accordance with the provisions of Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, Open Public Act, and Chapter 11 of the Public Laws of 2020. All requirements have been met to allow for the electronic meeting of the board, or of the commission in this case.
Now, do you, we need to share the,
You need to do roll call.
or anything, or no?
So the question is, do we want Paul as vice chair to run the meeting from the beginning, or do we want JJ to?
So what is the protocol?
Let
Yeah,
JG,
Protocol. I don't need to be vice chair.
no, I'm the vice chair, but you can still do all the stuff like you were doing when Walter was doing it.
Right, that's,
Yeah.
my question was, do you want me to show the agenda?
Oh,
Just do the roll call first.
yeah, do the roll call.
Well, that's you would do that, right?
Oh, okay, I can do the roll call.
I'm
Yeah.
just doing the tick stuff.
Let me find out.
Did he send an agenda? I'm not seeing one.
It's on the website.
But it's not, you can email it to us, correct?
I don't remember.
Oh, here it is. I have it. Okay.
Okay, I've got an old one, but that'll work.
I have the agenda. Do you want to go ahead and do the roll call?
Sure. Okay. And it'll be recorded, so we don't have to write it down.
Right.
Walter Andrews is late. Stan, Joe,
It's here.
Diane is absent at this point. Arnold Schmidt,
Here.
myself, Paul Lewis here. Ted Chase, Jessica,
Here.
Steele McElroy,
Here.
Robin Sudan,
Here.
and Rezwani.
Rizani here.
Rezani. I was close.
Oh, we're getting there.
You're getting it.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen.
You good?
So we
Chair
do sunshine law and roll call.
Okay.
Well, now we're on the chair report.
Yeah.
Well, we can skip over the chair report in a minute, and since Jessica, you do the website email, why don't you do that?
I don't really have an update on any of that right now. Or we do want to do the minutes?
Okay. The minutes. What about on the, what to do the minutes?
I'll make a motion to pass the minutes as they are. They're very short.
Second.
Third.
Anybody have any changes or modifications?
Nope.
Seeing none, we'll vote on the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Minutes are accepted. Okay, plans review, I can move into that because.
And now we're at
that's one
website. We're skipping all
of the-
over.
Oh, the website, I'm sorry. Go to website.
I don't have any email updates. Do we have anything we want to post on the website? Is there anything that anybody wants to really put up there? Do we want to, anything with any of these ordinances or nothing yet?
Well, we don't have anything official to put up there as far as the ordinances or resolutions are concerned, so.
Maybe at the end of this meeting, we can circle back to that, because if we pass some of those resolutions, it would be
Okay,
good.
I will make it pink so we remember to go back. All right, plans review. That's,
Okay, there are 3 plans, and Walter handed out assignments to each of us. The last one he gave me was Million Builders on 16 Hillier Lane. It's PLN 20-00005.
You've got some echo from someone.
Oh, you got a call from someone?
not speaking.
Oh, echo.
Yeah, there's an echo from somewhere.
I think it's Arnie, because he's surrounded in blue like he's talking.
Oh, that's better. Oh,
Which,
good. Okay, Arnie was making the sounds, the echo.
so this
Stan, you
this
don't
is
have
the-
to mute yourself. Was it Stan?
No, it was Arnie. Paul,
It was
this
Arnie.
is the email that Walter sent with the plans.
Right.
It says there's 3 plans, but there's only 2 links.
Okay, well, I found all three.
Yeah, the links
Okay,
are
so
for
which one do you
meeting.
want me to click on here so we can review it?
Why don't you look on the million, view, which one is that? Million is the one he asked me to do.
They're numbered.
No, I know, I can't read
I'm
on
just
here.
gonna click on one because
Click on one, we'll see what we get.
It's
Okay,
for a meeting.
scroll
If I-
down. Scroll down, can you scroll down? Oh, here we go. Oh, that's it. Okay, that's the million builders. This is a 7,800 square foot warehouse to be built on what is now a vacant lot on Heller Parkway, Heller Lane. And they got about 21,000 for parking. It's there was a house there at one time, but it's been demolished, and there's just a driveway. So what they intend to do is build this relatively small warehouse. They are going to take out 30 trees. So I think that's mentioned in the environmental report. So they'll have to
That's
do it in
a
pavement.
lot.
It's a lot of trees. It is a dead end street, so there's no traffic or that kind of thing.
Did they say how they were going to replace the trees or send money to the tree fund?
It was mentioned, I remember seeing something on the thing about the tree fund. But I think it looked like there was I didn't see a specific tree planting.
Yes,
There's the plans.
there is a landscaping report. They will plant hemlocks around the northwest corner of the lot, on the street front and some ways, short ways up the northern border, and then 2 maple trees by the front of the entrance to the building, essentially.
Okay,
And the hemlocks go only part ways down the front, presumably because of site triangle concerns, sight of vehicles leaving. That's,
these the hemlocks?
yeah.
okay. Yeah, what else did I have? Oh, they've got 2 infiltration basins and a detention basin. The impervious coverage and pervious coverage is at 37%, but I think in this zone it's allowed for 60. So they're under on that. There is a slope to one corner, and the drainage goes into a tributary of the river. So from an environmental standpoint, they've noted that they have to be careful what that's why they got the detention pond and such.
Did they have to get a permit for that drainage?
Yeah, I think it was mentioned, I think the DNR canal, or the DNR people come in. It's the northeast corner, 50% slope to the Raritan River tributary. This is an M1 district. They've also got a stormwater management system in place. So they're gonna rip up the driveway that was there, and then I guess put in new stuff. But because it's all trucking, they really can't use pervious asphalt. It won't take the truck traffic.
Right.
So the things we had to look at, they've got the basins and the trees. And I would probably, as Ed, it's not a lot of square footage, but all these warehouses are flat roofs. So I'm going to mention solar cells as an option on the roof.
What about plants like willows that are better at absorbing water? Since this is such a wetland site.
In a way it is, you're right.
Maybe they should be considering more plants like willows that will use the water better.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the talk about the basins.
Yes.
I keep wanting to scroll down, it won't do that.
Paul,
Well,
when you
I'm trying to give
mentioned
everybody a chance to read
Yeah.
it, so.
Paul, when you mentioned the solar panel suggestion, was it on the structure or carport?
I would put this on the roof. You got 8,000 square feet on the roof.
Do they have parking lot?
Yeah, the parking lot, but it's for the trucks. I don't, with
I
this
see.
small warehouse, there's not gonna be a lot of employees.
Mhm.
But there was 21,000 square feet for parking. So mainly it's truck turnaround and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, so the efficient lot area, so I don't know, we could mention a canopy, but I think roof would be probably cheaper.
I
Canopy.
agree. Yes.
Well, you can give them the option to do one or the other or both,
Yeah, exactly.
just to put it in their head that, you know, their options.
Yes,
agree.
they need to do assessment of the energy requirement, and if covering the roof of the structure will give them enough energy, then they're all set.
It'll make a good contribution.
Yeah, but if it's not enough, they may still consider the parking lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, it's added cost, but you know, it gives shade to the vehicles, and you know.
Well, what a warehouse has is forklift charging and the lights and office and, you know, plug load from computers. And maybe if they've got a conveyor belt, most of these warehouses don't. They just use the forklifts to move stuff in and out.
Mhm. So they don't have too much electric load, you're saying.
Exactly, yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
So that's million builders. There were two others.
Well,
One
when
is
they discussed the taking down of the trees, how many trees did you say they were
30.
taking down?
It said 30.
Did
30
it
trees.
say, did it
Yeah.
say over how long, were they spread out all over? Was it like one area that was 1 acre or something like?
No, it didn't really say. It just said there were 30 trees to be removed. That it was grass and trees. It wasn't, you know, this has been an abandoned lot for a while. So there's probably some scrub as well as the trees.
Okay,
The trees is scattered all over.
Yeah, I think they are.
okay. I was just I was just thinking about the canopy, if it was like an acre. You know, I know the Shade Tree Commission is looking to have X amount of percentage of the township covered, the canopy covered.
Uh-huh.
And every time we take away an acre here or an acre there, it takes a step back for us.
Yeah.
But if it's a tree here and there and it's not contiguous, then it's not the same.
Yeah, this has been an abandoned site for quite a while, I think, just from the description of, that's what I sensed from it.
Okay.
And there's no real through traffic because it's a dead end street.
Yeah, I remember the house there. I think there was a lady who lived in it who was a election board worker probably 40 years ago.
Uh-huh. So the house is gone. The house was leveled.
It's gone. House is fairly recently gone, I think.
Huh.
But I don't know when I last went on, because you could see it from Western Road.
I see that this is nearby Franklin High School, right?
Yeah, it's West Franklin High School.
Okay. So I know what to put down. Who's doing the other? Is somebody else doing the Somerset Hospitality Group?
That's me, Robin.
Okay.
And if Jessica wants to open things, this is the, used to be called the Ramada. I don't know what it's called now.
It's called, yeah. Oh, it was La Quinta now, I think. Yeah.
Right. So they want to take the indoor pool and use that same footprint to turn it into a ballroom. So there's no extension of the footprint.
Is that this page that I have open, or is it a different?
Yeah.
Somerset Hospitality Group.
That's the one you have.
Well, this says, oh, yes, okay.
So as I read it, the big issue for them is their parking. Jessica, if you go slowly, we'll get to a chart about parking. And it doesn't make any sense to me, but I guess that's Mark Healy's argument to.
This is an indoor pool area, and their parking is around it.
Yeah.
And the parking
Changes are entirely internal to the building. But as that would increase the parking requirement, they're asking for a variance from the parking. So I'd say, I mean, the existing parking will be even less.
If Jessica will come to the page, but if I can just give you the summary.
So
Right
this
now-
is the existing floor plan, and this right here is where the pool is.
Yes.
Zoom in, it says pool. And then the new floor plan, that's the proposed grand hall. Right?
Yep.
You keep going. Yes.
It's not letting
If
me.
you keep
My
going,
computer
Jessica.
just froze. It's not letting me zoom out. Hang on. It
Can I
literally
just
froze.
Can I talk about the
This is what the computers do when you need them.
Go ahead and talk about it.
There are 217 existing parking spaces. For the current occupancy, they should have 329. For this revised occupancy, they need 398. So they say they've got plenty of parking. So
It's a lot.
clearly to me, that's off, but I imagine that's Mark Healy's purview. There's the chart. So this is based on occupancy. The first chart is the number of people, the parking requirements. You can see for the existing occupancy, they should have 329. For this proposed occupancy, they need 398. They actually have 217. So there are questions on the report from planning. They're very dubious about it. I'm just concerned that if they come back with an amendment to take down trees, to have more parking, that's where I think we would get involved.
Well, let's ask the question, have they ever had issues with parking before? Because if not, like, how is that really, you can't put more bodies in the rooms that are already there.
But
Yeah, right. But on an event, if there's a wedding or whatever, a gala ball,
Can they
they'll
go
have
up?
temporary parking. Yeah,
They build a parking garage instead of just.
they don't have a
putting more
garage.
Stuff
Yeah.
around it?
if you look at the site plan, the parking is all on the perimeter of the lot.
Yes.
Are they looking for a variance so they can have less parking spaces than required?
No, they just want a waiver that their parking is sufficient.
Well, it's less parking spaces than required. They're not changing the parking spaces.
It's what they already had originally, right?
Yeah,
And they
Well,
want-
they must have needed a variance to begin with, I would think. Or maybe they don't know it's bigger, maybe they have more room.
But you can see all the parking's on the perimeter. If you can zone out just a bit, Jessica.
Yeah, there's parking. I mean, I've been there years ago, but there's parking all along the edges.
And the
And
only place
They're
there,
bounded by to the left is the access road to 287. There's no real room for them to expand parking in their footprint.
Well, if they do have a big event, could they get a valet parking to stack the cars up? I mean, how do they usually manage these kind of things?
Yeah,
I think that's a question for Mark Healy. My only concern is if you go to, there's an aerial photograph somewhere.
Arnie, can you mute yourself, please? Thank you. Which one do you want me to go to? Robin?
the parking analysis maybe.
We looked
Jessica,
at that.
there's
That's the chart.
There's an aerial photograph somewhere in that file. I'm not sure which one it is.
We can go to that.
And then you can see the trees. Oh, not that one.
I mean, the existing site survey is just this.
it's most likely to be with the TRC reporter.
The TRC report?
Yeah, because it's
Yeah, that's the review committee.
set up.
There you
Yeah.
go. So you can see the tree, the only trees are in the perimeter there. Except a few at the front door.
Yeah, so their only option is gonna be to like cut more. I don't understand why they can't just go up over here. Because it's gonna, I understand they don't want to spend the money, but they're not even, it's not even like a slight difference. They're like drastically different in their parking requirement.
Well, they have to convince the board that they have enough parking for what actually happens there, or the board can turn them down.
If I might, can I bring up a couple things that were in the application? One, they say they're doing this for the benefit of the people of Franklin Township, which
Bullshit.
we could have events there. They also, in the same application, make the argument that they won't need any more parking because the people already have rooms there. Well, it can't be for the benefit of Franklin Township.
Not everybody that comes to an event stays.
Right.
So they're disagreeing with themselves in the application. So I think I'm not the one who knows how to write these things up, but I think if you read Mark's or his team's report, they're skeptical as well. So maybe,
This property looks like it's all concrete and pavement. Do they have any pervious surface here?
No,
I
no.
didn't.
That's a mistake.
This was built a long time ago. This building was here from early 80s, if not, I would think.
Yeah, it has been there that long.
Yeah.
Once in a while, they need to repave, so they could as well just put pervious.
But that won't solve the parking
Are
problem.
they way over the required amount of pervious surface, or?
I didn't see that in the report.
It was never mentioned because they're not disturbing the parking at all. So all they're doing is they're building the pool on they're building the hall on the same footprint as the pool. So there's no change in the exterior of the building at all,
Right.
or the parking lot.
It's no different if you make changes to the interior of your home. You don't necessarily need a permit to do so unless you're
Right.
adding some sort of plumbing or whatnot, which they're
Yeah.
not doing. But they are affecting the parking requirements, and so that's their only issue. So,
Yeah.
I mean, am I wrong in suggesting that they go up and then maybe turn that parking garage into a solar opportunity?
Well, they don't have a parking garage.
But maybe they need to build one, and maybe that's the solution. Like, you want this to happen? Fine, then you need to build a parking garage.
I would say no environmental concerns and leave it to the zoning board.
Yeah,
I think basically either the zoning board accepts this or it rejects it, and I don't think they're gonna build a parking garage.
no. And from an environmental standpoint, there's nothing we can do.
No, except
Right.
this,
I
streets
guess.
are protected.
Okay.
We can do is suggest that they do
Suggest,
not
exactly.
cut down more trees.
Yeah.
What minimal green life there is in an effort to,
It wouldn't really create any new parking spaces.
No, and
I have no idea. You never know what they'll come up with.
well, that corner, the upper corner where it bends in closer to the building. Yeah, that's the only area that potential, but it's right there's probably right away from the 287 because that's the ramp. You can't come closer.
Yeah.
Plus, that's a hill.
Yeah, it's up a hill, exactly.
But as an environmental commission, we want to encourage more alternate transportation ideas, like having a shuttle somewhere and, I mean, things like that. We don't necessarily have to say you must have parking for every car. I mean,
Yeah, is there
we could encourage them to be creative or like, contract out to the guys next door for parking and then people can walk,
right, is there a community
What I was thinking, yeah, about.
somewhere where they could use a community lot and then shuttle people to and from it?
Where do you have a community lot?
I-
Not in this neighborhood. Not in this neighborhood.
Lot somewhere. I'm asking, is there a community lot
No.
somewhere?
No.
They have anything in the plan for electric vehicle charging stations?
No.
There is Electrify America in Promenade Avenue in the parking lot in front of Target. So
But
Yeah,
not
but
on,
that-
not
but
on
that's
this
something we
site.
might recommend as an electric charging station as an attractive feature to get more people to stay at that
yeah,
motel.
level two, yes. Which is called destination charger. Why not?
Yeah. This is, which one, phase 2 or the number 2?
Yeah, level two.
Level 2.
Hmm. And I think in that area there are none, actually. I mean, it's the business of it attracts the customers who wants to
Exactly.
stay, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that place has Hooters, right?
It's Hooters, yes, exactly.
Yeah. You charge up and you charge out.
Nice try. Nice try, Stan. When it was La Quinta, we stayed there when we bought our house in Canal Walk. We stayed over a weekend.
Jessica, I just got a phone call from Walter. He said that he got on at 7:25, but he needs you to unmute him.
Okay, I have to,
That's a default, but there is a button, that he can just
he
press.
he should be able to unmute himself.
I don't see his picture.
No, he's just on audio right now.
Oh,
He's just on.
Can I just add something else about?
He didn't join as a panelist then.
Oh,
So you have no way of unmuting him?
I don't think he joined. He didn't join as a panelist. He joined as an
Oh
attendee.
yeah. He's an attendee. That's right. I unmuted him.
Attendee, not a
I
panelist.
unmuted him.
Well, you
Oh,
need
there
So you can speak. He's muted again? Yes.
There he is.
as an attendee, not a panelist. You need to log out and go back to the invite you received from me, and then log in as a panelist, not an attendee.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Maybe I can. Hold on.
you just heard him.
Make,
Just heard
okay,
Walter.
we're trying to
Yeah.
make
he is.
made you a panelist. Well, Walter, I just made you a panelist.
Yeah, you did. Now,
I moved him, yeah.
okay. Now, the video.
That's up to you if you want video. Some people don't like it. But do you know how to mute and unmute yourself?
Oh, there's this, Walter.
Yeah.
Walter, you're just gonna move the screen
It
over.
initially said that only you could unmute.
Well, that's because you were an attendee.
I could also unmute you because I'm co-host.
All
Yeah.
right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
we can.
But
Well, we
nobody
see
can
the-
see me.
Well, we
Okay.
see the top of your head.
You can
Change
see
your screen. There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
All right.
are we done with the Somerset Hospitality Group, or do you want to make more?
No, I made my notes. Okay.
I have a few other suggestions. That area, it's right there by the freeway and right across from the canal. And it's one of my wishes that, we start creating more spaces that connect and that like pedestrians can use. You kind of have to use a car to get there. If we could have some kind of pedestrian bridge, or even a wildlife bridge, like these are things like, have we thought much about wildlife and pedestrian bridges in these areas?
That area is deadly for wildlife. You got trucks and trucks and trucks.
You realize that this is truck haven, that there's all kinds of warehouses here.
Oh, yeah.
Trucks are going to be coming by here constantly.
And in the next couple months, when Amazon opens on Randolph, it'll be wall-to-wall trucks.
Yes.
Rizwan, I think to your point, when's the next master plan for the township? Maybe we need to be part of that and build some of these in a little further, what would that be? Further west along the road. I think it's a very good idea, but I think it should be part of a master plan.
Yeah, we have talked about pedestrian walkways going over Easton Avenue in several places. One over JFK towards the diner, and then one over DeMott, from DeMott over to the other side. But I think, Rob, or that's not something that the people building this facility would be involved in. This is more in the master plan and would be a government project.
Does anybody know when our master plan is next up?
Also, who does the master plan? Because I looked on the website.
Planning board.
Is
Actually-
Franklin or is it a bigger plan? It's beyond.
No, it's ours.
It is ours. Oh, I can't find it.
Ted, when does the master plan renew?
Well, I'm trying to remember both how often it has to be done.
Every 10
6
years,
years or 10 years.
10 years.
Typically 10.
I think it's 10, and
It
whether
can be less, but
due was complete in 2016 or 2018 with a circulation plan we haven't gotten yet.
It's not due for a number of years.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad.
if there is a reason, I think it can be done earlier.
It can, yes, it must be done every 10 years, but we could do it sooner.
Realize on DeMott Lane, you've got a school right on the other side. And those kids come running, they do their running up DeMott Lane, they cross Easton Avenue. And back when my kids went to Rutgers Prep, they were expected to walk to school and cross that intersection on their own as young children, second and third graders. Of course, I didn't allow them to do that. But if you can't get a cross bridge over something that's so desperately needed, you think you're going to get it over the Canal Road area?
I think it's worth trying. Look at DeMont Lane, there should be one from SGS over to the township side with the library and Middlebush Park. I think the times are calling for perhaps an earlier review.
I second.
I think we're getting off target here as to what we're supposed to be doing.
I agree, Arnold.
Who was
I think
doing
if
the
I-
memorial home plan?
That was me. Yeah, so you can open the engineer's letter. So this is Parker E. Francis Memorial. They want a playground, 1,400 square feet. And it's a nursing home. They've got 120 beds. And they want this daycare for the employees of the facility. And also some kind of intergenerational programming opportunities. So, and anyway, in the cover letter, the guy says the accommodations for drop off and pickup will be made at the facility's front entrance, which is strange because you would think if they're employees, they just come with their kids. So I didn't understand that sentence. And then they say stormwater runoff is controlled by existing underground detention basin and extended stormwater detention and water quality. And they've got 4 on-site pervious pavement sections. So, I mean, it's a good use. I'm totally a believer in mixing up the generations. So,
Lon, I think the reference to dropping off their kids, a lot of people in nursing homes work strange shifts.
okay.
And it may be their spouse, partner brings the children at school time. They don't
Okay.
necessarily.
They've also got a little garden.
Yeah, and it sounds like from the pictures, if you look at the images, they when you go to the plan, they do seem to be, landscaping it. It looks really cute. And then the other changes are indoors. So I don't know that this probably wouldn't increase any more driving since it's employees and maybe a few other people.
It gets the kids outside.
Yep.
Yeah, and it kind of lifts the spirit. I think old folks in a nursing home might like to look out. I don't know.
And
I'd
Parker
be that person that's like, why are there so many kids making noise? But that's me.
You'd be on the other side of the building,
Yeah.
just the rooms. I want the
You'd
kids.
be yelling, get off my lawn.
True.
Wow, humbug, huh?
No Christmas. That's different.
So I looked on Google Maps and it was much more like hardly developed and a lot of dirt. So I think these are plans going forward. And I don't know how old that map was.
What was the address, Rosamund?
11, what was the address?
Laurel? No, that's not Laurel Road.
It's Delwood.
Delwood.
Yeah,
Delwood.
11.
and it's got
Right.
the Center for Great Expectations behind it.
Yeah, what's that?
11 Delwood, what?
For profit.
Delwood Lane, LN.
Delwood is right off DeMott Lane. It's where, it's now Parker, but McCarrick, it used to be called, home is off Delwood.
Yeah, when they expanded, we looked at their plans. They expanded not too long ago.
Oh, okay.
They doubled the size.
I recall an application to put
Okay, that's more
solar
recent.
panels over the parking lot.
Yes, they have them.
Yeah, that does look like they did that.
Sorry, hold on. My computer is like taking a while to load. I don't know if it's because it's pulling it from the server or what.
Oh, because it's needed right now, so it chooses not to work.
You've got some superstitions there.
No, that's, you could have something not working. You call IT and then you pick up the phone, it starts working. It's almost like
Yeah.
a kid who knows.
You just have to threaten it with IP.
Okay.
So, sorry, where are they building the?
It's right. Oh, I'm like pointing right there. Look. Yeah, they have a close up in a further detail in, they have the details, but it's to the right of the building above the parking lot. So like parking lot and the main building, like right here.
Where these trees are?
No, scroll down. So it's above that loop. Like the loop is at your top of your picture. Yeah. So
Oh,
right,
there's the solar field.
Yes.
So they
yeah,
wanna
it's
do
gotta
it
be
like
between
what,
the
right
solar
here?
field and the building. Yeah,
It's in this
Or
area
right
here.
here?
right there. And
I
they
don't
do have
see
the
why that's
detail
bad.
in the other plan.
I don't see why that's bad. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, it's like a little space and they want to.
That's a beneficial use for sure.
Yeah.
Why do they need
I
a
agree.
variance? Why do they need a variance?
It's just they're not like, oh, so that was in the.
Residential zone.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Okay, here's the diagram. This is it.
The purpose of the municipal land would be advanced by deviation and a D-variance use or principal structure in a district restricted against such principal structure. So it's zoned for no playgrounds or childcare facility.
Edible
This
veg-
this day and age, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, there's the diagram. Here it is.
Yeah, that's it. See a lot of landscaping going, they're putting trees up to kind of make a barrier between the road.
garden.
Vegetable garden, that's nice.
Yeah, fun stuff. Good stuff.
Doesn't seem like they're paving anything.
Yeah, they're just filling in that like grand, with nice plants.
And if the kids are gonna be on there, you don't want concrete anyway. You want something softer.
Right.
There's a lot of requirements in the state about playground surfaces.
Yeah.
Looks
Yes.
nice.
I thought it was a great idea. I don't know if you guys have suggestions.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a good addition.
Yeah, I agree.
And they've already done a lot of the environmental stuff that we asked them to do a while ago.
Great.
Good.
And they do take good care of their facilities. They have enough money, they can.
Oh, so I think we're good with plans, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Walter,
Good.
do you want to do the chair report? Because we didn't do that because you weren't here.
Yeah,
Walter,
well, I don't have a lot, I guess I'm encouraged and sort of excited that we are all looking around us and, bringing to the attention of the commission, stuff like environmental justice and energy aggregation and all of that. And I think it just will make us a much better commission, but we have to be careful that we don't overload our plate, so to speak. So, and because we're still dealing with the one-use plastics, and so we want to get that out of the way. But I encourage you to just continue to reach out and bring to the attention and look to improve Franklin Township in terms of environment and health. Thank you.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so now, new business.
So new business. This first A here, proposed Franklin Township resolution in support New Jersey legislative bills S 232, A 2212, environmental justice. Who's leading that charge?
Well, I suggested that we just vote for it, but actually, I should have checked what happened today in the assembly. Did anybody figure whether it was passed?
See if we can find out.
It was going to a committee today.
Just committee, okay. So my original intention was just to take the resolution, pass it in our commission, and just go to the next business. And Arnie, he wanted to take it as an opportunity to make it even better. So there you go, Arnie. I give you, explain how you want to have it better.
Well, I think Stan did a great job of doing the first draft of the resolution, and I added.
Let me jump. I didn't do anything. I just took what was sent by NCHEC and I just populated it with the ID that is relevant to Franklin. So I don't want to take too much credit for this.
Well, the credit is yours because if you hadn't done it, nobody would have done it. So thank you for that. So starting with that, then I took it a step farther because I believe a lot more that needs to be done. I sent out those comments to everybody. I received comments back from Robin and from Ted and from Walter. That they sort of added to it. Robin made some comments on one of my whereas paragraphs. I agreed with her and I changed that. And I also added at the end the list of the members. I emailed out about a half hour, 45 minutes before the meeting. I emailed everybody the revised resolution, and I added everybody's names to it at the bottom that says listed members voted in favor of this resolution. So when we vote on it, if everybody votes for it, everybody's name stays on. If people decide not to vote for it, then their name would come off. Diane is on the list. If she's not here for the vote, then her name would obviously come off. So the question is, yes.
I can give you an update. I'm on the website right now. S232 today reported out of Assembly Committee with amendments, second reading. So I guess it's gone. It will go before the Senate now.
Well, I think that shouldn't really have any effect on our resolution. We should still pass it.
Absolutely. I think the good news is it's out of committee, so it's positive.
Right. And it's definitely positive.
And it has names of our representatives. Joseph.
His last name is.
Oh no, this is my text.
You shouldn't include my name because I'm not a member of the commission.
Well, we could add your name and have
that.
If we have your name and say council liaison, would that be okay?
Well, no, I'm not a voting member of the commission. And besides, I already had the council pass a resolution of support.
I was about to ask. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you'll also.
I think this is higher level actually, if council passes it, right?
Yes.
You'll also notice that you'll see a couple of places, 3 different places. I added the word large. It's in blueprint.
Yes.
The reason that I did that was because of the definition of the facilities in S232. They're talking about large facilities, and we want to make sure that, I just want to say in this that it's not new facilities, it's new large facilities, because there is definitely a difference between the two, which is what we're talking about in the second part of the resolution. A big part of what we're talking about in this, that there's large areas of people that are in the overburdened community that are not going to be helped by this, or not be helped as much as other areas.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this resolution as written.
Second
I will
that.
second. I will second that. I will second that.
I have a few comments though, I'm sorry, or you can go ahead. Oh, can I do some comments first? before we-
I think you need to do comments before we would vote, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, when you put the word large, you inserted the word large. The original thing said new facility, which would include new, small, and large. So you kind of limited them and then expanded instead of, so that's kind of odd. The other thing is, I'm sorry, I sent out an email, but it was too late to get to you guys. But I noticed that.
Can I just address what you said about the word large?
Yeah.
Before we move on. So can you put that back up there? The resolution. If you go to what is it, the 1, 2, 3, third whereas, it says facility is defined as any, and you can read what all the types of facilities are, and they are all very large facilities. And it even says that in one area, I believe it uses the word large, and it also defines those that are defined by the Federal Clean Air Act, which are very large facilities. So you're talking about large facilities. What I'm talking about in the second part of the resolution are the smaller facilities and the highways and the railways and all the smaller facilities that are not going to be regulated by S232. By saying just facilities, we're not addressing what they're defining as facility. They're defining them as large facilities. That's why I wanted to add the word large. If you guys think it's too much, you can take it out. It's not a big deal, but I thought it was better to have that in there.
It brings a little bit of a confusion about how would you define it then, because
Yeah, just the word large is kind of problematic.
Well, I can only say based on my working in this field for 30 years and knowing what DEP defines as large facilities versus small facilities, that they're defined electric generating facilities, resource recovery facilities, sludge combustion or incinerators, sewage treatment plants, capacity of 50 million gallons per day, transfer stations. These are all large facilities. Facilities that are in neighborhoods that we're talking about are much smaller. The auto body shops, the metal plating companies, lots of other different types of small of facilities. And then, of course, there's also the railways and the roadways and things like that. So that's why I want to just put large facilities. But it's no big deal if you want to take that out.
Yeah, I would think take it out and make it so that everybody looking to have any kind of new facility has to get looked at.
No, this.
So yeah,
No, it says this bill would require a person seeking permit for a new facility, but that's not true. It's not would require a person seeking a permit for a new facility. It's a person seeking a new permit for a large facility.
well, so I think the issue is that the definition facility is limiting, but you've put a limitation in the first whereas by saying it's for large facilities. Like you've added the limitation.
But it's up in the title.
I didn't put the limitation in there. It's
No,
in
the
the
limitation.
it's in the definition of
And it's
230.
in the title.
That these are,
The-
that
The
these are
title
large
is the
facilities.
definition. They define it in the third whereas. And in the third whereas, while they do give some limitations, those things can be scalable over time. Whereas we don't necessarily, it doesn't necessarily define large facility in that third whereas. Those qualifications, like who knows what those could be in over time. They could end up being something that might be otherwise considered a small facility, but still uses some of those benchmarks.
Still heavily polluting, yeah.
So I think just leaving it broader is better, and keeping it in line with the actual definition in the third whereas makes more sense to me. But that's me.
But if you look at
that.
Because defining this to this that's not a definition makes no sense. But this is a definition.
in the second line on the title, it says certain large facilities.
Right, but
That was there to start with,
this
and part of the title from the
this-
state.
This makes more sense.
So, no, it says large facilities in Arnie's thing. It doesn't in the original.
It says it in the title.
Says it in the title.
Oh, I don't see the title. Okay.
The second line after resolution in support of.
No.
Requires the NJDEP to evaluate
My
environmental and
is-
public health. of
No, that was
certain large
also
facilities.
added. He should highlight that because in Stan's version, it just says certain facilities.
Arnie, did you add
I
large
have
up here as
Stan's
well?
version here and Arnie's, and Stan has added large everywhere. The original has,
Arnie added large.
and Arnie added large.
Oh,
Arnie, you're muted. We can't.
Can you hear me?
Okay. It's very possible that I did add that there. I don't recall, but obviously I didn't highlight it. So look at Stan's, and if Stan's doesn't say large, then I added that.
I'm looking at the original, it doesn't say large. And then the other thing, Stan, it seems you added the energy thing, the megawatts thing, because that wasn't in the original that Anjek sent. Anjek said facility is defined as one major source of air pollution, but your version says facility is defined as electric generating facility with capacity of 10 megawatts. Was that there? Like, how did that show up? Is Stan there? Hello?
I can hear you.
oh, the first one.
Because I was looking at all the different versions. The one from Anjek just says air pollution. And then, I was like, oh, why air pollution? Not land and sea. I was also thinking of adding stuff to this. But then the version that Stan sent said, an energy facility of 10 megawatts or more.
You are referring to Arnie.
No, the one that you sent in your email.
I took the Anjek word by word. I only added the Franklin names.
Okay, so that's
Didn't do that.
These definitions are probably in the bill.
okay.
Yeah,
All right. And then the only thing while we're on the wish list of what this bill can do, the other issue I thought was,
Well, why don't we resolve one thing at a time? We want to take out the word large. If you want to take it out, I'm fine with that. It's really not a big deal. So if you guys want
To vote on that, or is that something that you can?
Haha.
I would
We can vote on everything. Okay, take it off.
So, motion to vote that the word large be removed in 4 locations noted here in blue.
okay, second.
be a friendly amendment.
Third,
Yes, aye.
all in favor?
the motion is to do what? To remove it?
Remove the word large.
Large in the 4 locations in blue noted here.
Okay.
okay.
All right. All in
Yep.
favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Oppose?
Aye.
Abstain?
My cat.
All right, sorry, Arnie, you were out.
All right, take it out.
Okay. So the
Am I taking it out, or are you taking it out?
I don't have control over that there.
Jessica.
And then I just thought down at the end where you say despite the noted flaws, maybe try something like despite the omissions, or but that's just a word choice.
What? Where?
Now, therefore, despite the noted flaws, be it resolved. And it's like despite the omissions, because it only went so far, or despite the.
Where, Rezwan? Where in the document?
There, oh my arrows. And now, therefore, in all caps, now, therefore, despite the noted flaws.
Right, it says large right there in bold.
Yeah, the bold, all caps paragraph. Now, therefore.
Despite the noted flaws,
Okay, you took it out, okay.
we are so strong.
How flawed this was, which, but despite the omissions, despite it didn't go as far as we wanted it to. Like, flaws. A flaw would be it was bad. We had to change it. But you're adding to it, so you're expanding. So that's just just the thing. But
if we use the word omissions, it gives us a chance to come back with another version down the road. That where we're taking care of the omissions. I think that's probably less judgmental and more open door.
I'm fine with changing the word flaws to omissions.
okay, so noted omissions. That's fine too.
We vote on it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Fine.
All good.
Great. And then the other omission I just wanted to point out is aside from blocking facilities, and that's because it's oriented towards the DEP, but ultimately we'd like something that's more oriented towards, we just need more affordable housing everywhere. Like we need some YIMBY as well as NIMBY. Like on the one hand, don't put that there.
That's covered by Laurel. That's a different story.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I would love to say something like that in there. Like, yeah, it's not like these people are stuck over here, but there's so many other issues about why the zoning issues and.
Yeah, that's a different argument.
That's a different resolution, I believe.
But I want to put that out there.
So I would like to go back to my motion that we approve this as amended.
I second it.
It was seconded. I seconded it, but there was one more thing. Diane, I don't think Diane is on, so her name would have to be removed from the bottom here.
Yep.
Really?
Wow.
Is everybody's name spelled properly there?
I request that my name is spelled in completion and Stanislav, not just Stan.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
I'm gonna save this.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So I don't think we voted on it, but I think we've had motions all over the place.
Can we vote?
First, and we've had a second. We've had discussion.
Well, we voted on the word large and we voted on the word omission.
Mission.
Yeah, so now we need to vote that we take it as is.
I've moved
After
that
all
we
of those.
vote for as now amended.
And I'll second that.
I'll third it.
Walter, call for the vote.
Please.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained?
My cat.
So
And then off.
I'm done. So this is done.
So what do we do with this now?
Well, now I'm just gonna email the final version back to everybody.
All right.
Well,
We'll give it to the clerk, and she will send it, right?
it's being sent to who is the four, there were, what did it say at the end there? There were several assemblymen and senators and was
Yeah.
Yeah.
going to council also.
Yes, I
Well,
think so.
who sent it? Anne Marie?
Anne Marie.
So Walter will send it to Anne Marie for those purposes. Is that right?
No, we can copy her.
That's the way we usually do it. Yeah, we did, I'm sorry, I guess the first version of the plastic bills that way. But then things, I guess, sort of turned around and it didn't go forward.
Yeah, but we're talking about this resolution, so
Yeah,
Walter, you're gonna send it to Anne,
yeah.
her to
I
send
will.
it to the Congress people, Assembly, the Senate, and to Council.
When
Yes.
is the next council meeting? Ted, when's the next meeting?
Second,
Next month.
they only have one meeting each in July and August. As I say, I've already had the council pass a resolution.
As is, right?
Yes,
Okay,
and I just sent it to Anne Marie and she puts in the necessary sentence.
great.
Sorry, I'm filing the many emails.
Yes, and we have an idea of your inbox.
I am. Trying to find the last. Thanks. This is the only negative to having my my email. Next on the agenda is the plastics ban. I started to look at the suggested
Oh, we still
amendments and
didn't
realized
finish.
I wasn't going to spend the time inserting them properly into the document when we hadn't even discussed them. So I felt that voting on them was going to be necessary prior to my actually doing official amendments. So it takes a lot of time when it's not done with track changes, and it makes more sense to just do it as a group. So.
And we are very grateful that you are doing all of that.
Do you want to have a special meeting? I mean, all we had was the enforcement section left, I believe, correct?
Yep.
It's fine to me if we want to discuss it now, and then I'll bring up the actual.
Well, what I would just say is that I sent a copy of it, of the enforcement section, revised
Yep,
enforcement,
I have it. I opened it.
okay?
I'm just bringing up the actual document with the appropriate changes from the last time. Okay, so all these edits we can accept?
Yep.
We agree on that? Not Arnie's edits, but from the last meeting, the edits that were still noted in red. Do we agree that those can be accepted into the document? Or no?
Yes.
We went all through these.
Right, I sent a red line and I don't want to assume anything.
Oh. So
That's why I like track changes, because you have to accept it or you reject the change. It's something that.
do you want to just go through and just go click accept all the way down the line?
I mean, I can just use the clean version if you want, but I can do actually.
So I just have two new comments, but they're small.
All right, I've accepted all changes. And then here is Arnie's enforcement section. You have changes to the overall document, or do you have changes to Arnie's
Just
enforcement?
one comment, I think one word needed in the enforcement section, and then in the overall document, the word drastically.
Where, in which section?
I actually noted that word too, and I am a little bit uneasy about the wording.
Yeah, I think it's overconfident. I mean, it's just the beginning.
It would be like curing global warming.
Yeah, we're
There it
joining
is, right there.
municipalities to ban or limit the use of single-use plastics. And it says it will drastically decrease our human impact. No, it's a beginning. Like we're just doing the plastic bags. So, and it will begin to us, get us on the road to decreasing our human impact or something. And because in the next paragraph, whereas in a more ideal situation kind of speaks to that drastically thing. Like we're just starting, we hope this is gonna at
Yes,
least
just
decrease.
remove
Does
that word.
decrease.
No.
Will decrease, yeah. Maybe just take out the word.
I could live with that.
Delete drastically, Roswan?
Yes, yeah, just remove that word.
Just remove it.
Yeah, I guess we are just
Vote on it?
moving. Yeah, just voting. So that's it.
Yeah.
And accept, please.
You want to accept it?
Yes, so that we don't have to debate it again.
Right.
Let's never debate this again.
Okay, so moving on to Arnie's enforcement section.
Okay, and then the only issue I had there was 4B, any establishment that violates.
Well, he deleted the original B and he replaced it with this.
Okay, but I just feel that any establishment that violates with any of the respective requirements, only because establishment is really kind of vague. It's like suddenly any establishment in the world. Whereas up earlier, you have defined food service business, grocery store, and store.
He deleted it, Roswan. That's the point.
I have an alarm going off in my home right now, and I'd really like to be a part of this conversation, but I have to deal. Well,
Just take off the battery.
I did. It didn't work, and there it goes again. God.
Oh. You need it. Probably
You need a new
heat
battery.
buildup.
Took the battery out.
And it's a different one.
It's hardwired and it's time to replace it.
I wish he would just use track changes. Really do.
Okay,
We
can you
have
just mute
fire
yourself
in
while you deal with
your
that?
house.
Arnie, mute yourself.
He's not by the computer anymore.
You mute Arnie?
Yes,
I just muted him.
Oh, yay! Technology.
That's much better.
Yeah, it's still there. Any establishment that violates or blah blah. It's just any. I just think if you added the word any of the
This is
respective
first one.
requirements.
There's versions here. Okay. So this version over here on the right is the red line version that we were up to discuss, right? This over here is Arnie's changes. So I'm trying to put them next to each other because I love Arnie, but he refuses to use track changes. And it
Wait, are
makes
these
me
new?
I think, I don't understand why the track changes are needed because I have all of the old stuff in there.
No, because when you write it in, if we accept it, I just have to click accept and I don't have to retype any of it. But otherwise, then I have to retype all of it.
Okay,
That's
but
why
I
track
understand.
changes is helpful.
No, you don't have to retype it. I can copy and paste it into the
No,
original
having
document.
multiple editors on a document like this is not the way to handle it.
I'm just finding it difficult to follow. I'm sorry, but I missed what you guys were talking about because I was dealing with my alarm situation.
That was not
This one
important.
had wanted to add in respective in front of requirements for this B.
Please show me where you are.
Right here, but we haven't talked through any of it.
I don't know where you, when you say where we are, I don't know where you are.
Where the cursor is blinking.
What is blinking? See,
She highlighted it.
I see that.
So Rezwan wants to put respective in front of requirements.
Well, that whole paragraph has been crossed out.
Right,
That
that was
sentence is still there.
That paragraph
It's still
gone
in-
as far as what I have written.
In the red line you sent me, in the clean copy, that paragraph is there. So I just
Right.
put a clean copy.
Rezwan, back up a second. Arnie doesn't use the documents I sent. He takes the clean version, then he writes in his edits in blue, and he crosses them out. So that's what I'm saying. So he's crossed this out. So any changes here are irrelevant because it's not there anymore in his edit. Now, if we don't want to accept his edit, then that's a different story. But if
I'm
we
sorry,
want
I
to
didn't
accept
look
it,
at his edit. I just looked at your red line clean.
yeah,
I sent everybody this document on the left here for everybody to look at, because I was asked to look at the
Sorry.
sportsman's part of it and make my changes. So this is what I did. I changed the wording of B. I gave you a whole new wording of B and crossed out the original B, and I showed you what was in the original B.
Okay, let me look at that again. Oh, no, that's sorry, that's, oh, okay. I kind of ignored yours. Okay, well, that's great then.
Okay, so that was section, how was section A? Section A was okay, the way it was?
so section
Now-
A, hold on. Section A, what Arnie is proposing,
So it ends with chapter. You gotta take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
he's suggesting that all of this be,
Removed.
It's not needed.
Right.
how does
Okay.
everybody feel about that?
That part that's been taken out is actually language from the state bill, and it's not appropriate to a local ordinance.
So we can remove.
You want to move to remove it? Do we need to move to remove it? Does anybody care? Does anybody want it to stay in?
I'll make a motion to remove it.
I'll
Second.
second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Now,
And I'm accepting it. Okay, now Arnie's proposing we delete this entire section and add in this new section over here in blue.
which is what Rezwan just looked at.
I'll make a motion that we do that.
Second,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I
can copy and paste it. Stuff. Let's make it blank. I'm going to accept it.
Yeah, we did already. We voted to accept it.
No, but I'm formally accepting it in the document. Okay. Arnie's that C be deleted and be replaced with this new language in blue. Do we all agree with this?
It's okay.
I'll make a motion that we do that.
Second.
All in
Aye.
I
opposed? Abstain?
I'm gonna abstain because I don't quite understand all this and I need time to digest. So I just want to apologize that I wasn't prepared.
Just
So-
on your brevity.
Their opinions on this? Moving forward? So should I not be accepting these changes?
No,
Well,
you
voted
one
already.
abstainer.
you had a vote and everybody accepted it except for Rezwan.
Yeah,
yeah,
so it passes.
and you can accept it.
And Rezwan, I'd be happy to discuss it with you at some point and explain it to you.
Yeah, I just feel I should know, I should be more prepared before I vote on things.
Well, that's why I sent it to you a week ago. That's, that's what I was hoping everybody would do. I'm sorry.
No worries. No, my bad.
Do we agree
So
about
I'd still be
deleting,
happy to talk to you about it.
do we agree about deleting D?
Wait, be careful, they're different, be different.
Nope, this is a new D, which was originally E. And this is the original D, which he's deleted altogether.
The one that starts any appeal of or fine shall be conducted. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
F,
You
so
can't, under this type of process, you cannot appeal the NOV. It's just
So
not,
hold on, Arnie, back up a second, because in the version I have, there is a D and an E, which don't seem to appear in the version you've edited. So,
And Jessica, it appears that D on the left is F, right?
right, so where are these two is the question.
I'm sorry, can
This
you,
one is E, which is here. This says E right
Arnie's
here.
version, right?
no, that is a crossed out
is
E.
not-
E, which is in the previous version, now D.
Yeah, that's a crossed out E because it's now D because we
Right.
crossed out the
But
paragraph
D
of
you
above.
have here, but the D you have here in your version is not the D from the original document. The D you have says any appeal of an
Because
NOV.
it's automatic formatting. It's F in the other one.
Yes.
Bear with me.
Yeah, because
Oh, bear with me.
at the last
On
meeting,
the right side, F.
at the last meeting, we decided those two needed to be switched the order. So if you look at the right side, any appeal of the NOV is actually F on the right side. So originally it was,
I see that. What I'm saying is, after this little Romanet 4,
yes,
in the version that was sent out originally, there is a section D that says a fine shall be imposed for each day a violation is determined, yada, yada, yada. The version you have, the D that's crossed
Doesn't have
out,
it.
is actually F.
okay.
So my point is, what do you want to do with this D?
I,
Oh,
look
it's
at-
below because the E is crossed and it's
it's-
labeled as D. Oh my goodness.
yeah,
I think it's really covered in Arnie's new C.
yes, that was the idea.
So then you're saying you want to delete this D altogether.
Wait a second. That D.
I can't read it with, there's people's faces and stuff over it. I can't read what that D is actually. I can't see that. You're just making it bigger, so I can't compare
I'm
that.
trying to get there, Arnie. Please be patient with me.
Okay,
This D,
yeah.
what
Which
do you
D?
want to do with it? Do you think it is handled?
I have to see it next to whatever the fine shall be imposed for each day of violation by a county has been issued and probably that stays. But I have to see everything. I have to be able to look at
Can you
everything.
put it back into, yeah.
I have to.
So this is my. So this is what you sent, Arnie. All I did was change the colors here. This is the exact version you
On the
sent
left-hand side is
on
what
this email that was sent on July 15th. Is that the correct email?
I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at anything right now. Oh, yes, that's, yeah,
Is this the correct email? This is the document I downloaded.
yes.
So that's this. The only thing
That's correct.
the only thing I did differently to it was change the blue letters to black.
Understood.
Okay. So in your version here, I've done the updates, but you don't have a letter D that's D in this document. So the question is, what happened to it and what do you want to do with it?
It's so difficult to be able to see what we're looking at here. I can't read the D on the right-hand side of the screen to compare to the left-hand side because people's faces.
Well, you have control over moving people's faces on your screen. I
How
don't
do I-
control your
How do I
screen.
do that?
I think that D
Oh,
was
okay.
Them. You can minimize them. You can.
Okay, no. I just see. Okay. So Um,
Ted made the remark that he thinks the D on the right was incorporated in C above. If that's the case, then this D is duplicative.
Right. I can just delete it.
I think there's a real point there, that those lines got lost. Now, okay, it is sort of covered in C.
yeah, that's what Ted, you and I had spoken about. I'm just trying to see what the other things are here. F, E, and F.
E and F are the.
So if you take a look at F on the right-hand side, any appeal of the NOV?
Now,
I
that's
understand
there
that's your
now.
new D. I'm not worried about the new D. I'm worried about the old D.
I
Stick
think it's deleted.
Stick with me, please. The F on the right-hand side, any appeal of the NOV or fine shall be conducted. That is deleted. Put a line through that. Delete that, okay?
Yeah, it's deleted in what you sent.
Right.
Okay, delete.
So now I want to see what's on the left-hand side. We have
Yeah, you crossed it.
fine shall be payable upon
It
conviction.
is SD. So yeah, it's crossed.
So it's E in the new one, right side.
Right.
And if D
And what we had decided was that the D on the right side is covered in C above,
Okay,
correct?
so that's the question.
Right.
Do
And that's
we
why
delete this
it's
section?
yeah, delete.
So that gets deleted. And now
E becomes D.
E becomes D, which is what I have on the left-hand side, I believe.
Why it doesn't go automatically?
There it is.
I didn't make the document.
Okay. Good.
So is that what you just put over there?
And you just want to add it says fine shall be payable upon conviction in the township of Franklin Municipal Court by D, and you want to change it to responsible party. I feel like we've gone back and forth with responsible party versus owner operator.
You can
As long as somebody pays for it,
you
it's
can
paid.
just take out owner operator and just put in responsible party. That's what I have in there with the,
Does everybody agree with that?
because responsible party covers owner operator manager everybody.
Mhm.
Responsible party.
Right,
So
but I
why
feel
did it-
like we've gone back and forth with owner operator versus responsible
Well,
party, because
if
at what
you
point
look-
at what point is the manager of a store then responsible to pay a conviction?
Okay, let me explain that, okay? If you look in the definitions just below that on the left-hand side, there are new definitions. Responsible party is one of them.
I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a store manager of a Target and Target has a violation, why are you, the store manager, responsible for paying that? Wouldn't that be Target, the owner operator or the franchise owner that's responsible for paying it?
It's circumstantial in each case. Different cases can be different. That's going to be up to the enforcement officers and the judge as to who makes those decisions.
Isn't it true that it would be difficult to serve a violation upon an owner operator 1,500 miles away, but the manager's on premises?
Okay, so we all agree to change it to responsible party?
Yep, as long as we go with the new definition.
Do we have Target in Franklin?
No.
Oh, she was just making an example, I believe.
Yeah.
But we don't have one.
But you have a Stop and Shop
Yes, we do.
and a ShopRite.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Now we need to go back and add in 4 new definitions. Has everybody read the definitions?
Yeah.
I have.
I move we accept the definition.
But okay, just wouldn't it be authorized representative? Okay, never mind. I don't know. This just seems very legal. So again,
Look,
Responsible party is a widely used term throughout the state, counties, municipalities. That's just a term that is used.
Okay. Do we all agree with the definition of responsible party?
just put it there.
We have to ask the question, Stan. Does everybody agree?
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
Yes.
Jessica, you're a saint.
Are we doing it
I'm
alphabetically?
very
Looks
tired.
like.
I'm like holding it together by a thread. I'm gonna leave the new definitions in red because I think there are substantive changes to add new definitions. So I'm gonna leave them in as red for the red line for the next version I send to you guys. Okay. Has everybody read grace period? Do we
Yep.
agree with the definition of grace period?
Yeah.
Barney, we know you do.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody's okay with me adding it in?
Yes,
Yes.
You don't need this many. No, I don't want to print. You don't need this many spaces.
Don't worry about this.
Determines the actual number of days. It's
1 to 5.
between 1 and 5 days based on circumstances.
Okay. Everybody agree with the NOV definition?
Yes.
Yes.
We're gonna add that in.
That should be
Yes.
standardized.
And field notice of violation. Everybody in agreement with that as well?
Mhm.
Yes.
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 That's it, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. So this is the red line. And the only thing I'm leaving in as red line are these new definitions. And that's what I'm going to send to everybody along with a green version. Okay.
and what happens next?
Good question.
No, we will vote now and take it off the table.
I would suggest that everybody reads through this one more time. It's a full document. We've pretty much gone through the whole document. Any changes, but people might take a look at it and see a little thing here, a tiny thing here, nothing large, but just grammatically or whatever, and then put it up for vote at our next meeting or sooner if we want to, if we want to have a special meeting. Put a deadline on it, 1 week or something, and have a special meeting just for it. That would be my suggestion.
I would like to do that.
Well, you should be having another environmental commission meeting before the next council meeting.
Okay.
When is the next the commission council meeting?
Second Tuesday in August.
So we will have a meeting. We will have one scheduled for the first
11.
meeting in August. But sometimes we don't meet in August.
Well,
That's 11th, and I don't think we're gonna meet before that.
No, this is the last one in July.
Yeah, but what about the first Monday in August? Do we have a meeting scheduled?
I think so.
I believe so. I don't have it.
Yes,
Hold on.
Yes.
That'd be perfect.
Good. So that could be our final vote on it at that first meeting in August.
Mhm.
Perfect.
So you're sending us two documents like the last time, Jess?
Exactly.
Impressive number of drafts.
You.
All right.
Okay.
Wow, we're so
For expedience, are there any updates on any of the old business items?
I have written twice to Anjec asking them about underground utilities because I want to know if there's damage to a certain point, or is there any recommended ordinance to require them to put the utilities underground? I have gotten no answer.
I cannot hear clearly. We
Marty,
have
mute
echo.
yourself. Thank you.
Regarding underground utilities, I did contact Anjec, asking them if there are any model ordinances that reference when a certain percentage of utilities above ground are destroyed, are they then required to be rebuilt underground? I've written twice to info@Anjec and got no answer. So if anyone has a person to whom I might write, I would be happy to do that. That's just an update on I.
I don't have anybody. Ted, do
No.
you have someone?
Well, I don't know who would be responsible for that. I mean, the Nandini Checo is who we work with about the plastics, but
Well, it's a good place to start because one person could send me to another. I'm happy to do that. Ted, if you just email me that person's email, I'll take it from there.
Okay, any other updates in old business?
Well, I noticed we don't have the BPU Clean Energy Community Plan on there. And I think it maybe that could be as old business, but we really,
Well, old business are things that are still ongoing and might have an update from meeting to meeting.
well, no, because I brought it up. I noticed Robin's email about the BPU has a grant program for community energy planning. And I brought this up back in October. I said, are we going to do something about it or not? And I guess it dropped and, you know, but I'm
So
still
what
kind
is
of
it,
working on it.
What is it? The BPU?
Community Energy Planning Grant. And also Anjec recommends that, you know, and the state has now recommended that everybody has a community energy plan.
And if you get a chance to watch the webinar, the link of which I sent you the link in the last couple of days, they spend a lot of time explaining that grant and that process. So it's worth understanding it a little bit more than just what Rizwan and I might say. You might like to understand it more. And that webinar is a good place to do that.
So what are you suggesting we do as more than just reading it?
I think we explore applying for that grant.
Okay, do you ladies want to take that on?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay, I'm happy to work with Rizwan.
I move
Like a
for
committee?
Rizwan and Robin to take on the BPU Community Energy Planning Grant. Any seconds? Thirds?
Fourth.
Thanksgiving dinner.
Meatless?
No, Oh, that would be terrible.
Um, it's a reality in my case, but
All right,
I
so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I mentioned we just, email just came out from NJEC to ask people to write their legislators to get the state plastic bag ban bill moving. Did you all get that?
well, if my email, I suppose I would.
I get a lot of emails.
So do I.
Yeah.
It's
You must be on a special activist list.
Well, I am definitely, and Ted is so as well.
Ted, you sent the email?
No,
Okay, from
I
ANJAC.
received an email from Jen Coffey at NJEC.
Jennifer
Can
Coffey.
you see the date and time, Ted, and tell us, and that way we can go look?
It was
I actually don't see
probably
it.
2 days ago.
Oh,
Oh,
2 days
days ago.
ago.
I thought it just now came in.
Wait a second. Let me flip it.
Yeah, I got that too.
I am behind, so it's possible that I didn't click it
Contact
yet.
your legislators. That's a community action.
Yeah, I saw there. No, that's environmental justice bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when.
I don't think I got it.
I don't see it.
Myself downstairs. I don't want
We need to end plastics pollution.
Who?
Yeah. Well, that's an older one.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think I got a newer one. So go ahead, bring it up, Ted.
Okay, well, I'll dig it up and send it to everybody.
Okay.
So are we all finalized on Reswan and
Plastic pollution action needed 5 days
Yes.
ago.
Okay,
I
I'm
have-
just making sure. We're all cranky tonight. None of
I
us
agree.
had turkey dinner.
Yes, Jessica, we're finalized.
I think we're good. Okay, so then we're on to public discussion. Does anybody want to move to
Yes,
Move
but I,
that we open the meeting to-
I have some other stuff. I mean, we can
Okay.
open to.
Oh, no,
Public
if you have
vote.
other stuff, then do your other stuff.
Yes. Oh my goodness, what did I do?
Do you want to share your screen?
Wait a second, I have to figure what did I do? Okay, good. No. I don't need to. So I was briefly with the council as attendee, and I remember that Bob Von Locker was suggesting that the town cancels the Franklin Day Festival, and I don't know whether it was voted for. Ted,
Yes,
can you
it got
comment?
It was canceled,
They
yes.
announced that it was being canceled.
Okay, so it was canceled. So which also answers our question of how do we pitch into this event? So off the hook.
Right.
And now
Which was this? Sorry.
what?
The
Which
Franklin
letter on
Day
this was that?
Festival was canceled for this year.
Oh, okay.
Because of COVID, of course.
Right.
Now, one thing that I was discussing a couple of months ago, which is the state of the electric vehicles in Franklin Township, because me as a resident, forget about being an environmental commissioner. I want to know how much are we benefiting from having those electric vehicles? Who is using it? Who is maintaining the vehicles? How they protect the battery against premature degradation? Whether they shop for energy or they just plug it as whenever they choose to. And what's the mileage? How many miles were driven for the vehicles? How many gas was displaced? Because when I sent email to Bob from me, I got no response. And Ted suggested that we should send it as an organization, as an environmental commission. So I would like to open this for discussion.
I think getting analytics for usage, it makes sense, because how else do you show the ROI on it, and how else do you show that it's working? And
Yeah.
if there is some benefit, then you can actually then use that to get more EVs.
I mean, Franklin is quite ahead. I mean, 10 electric vehicles, that's a lot. But then I want to see the data that actually it's being used, because when I just pass by, I see those vehicles mostly being parked in. And as an EV advocate, I just hate to see them parked in. And when I talked to last year, I talked to those inspectors, and they said, no, we don't want to use them because we want to have off-road vehicles. Because of 1% of our inspections require off-road riding, right? That's
Oh my goodness.
That's my statement, the last statement, okay?
Right.
That 1%, but you got the point. So if those vehicles are underused,
is that information that the town gathers?
oh, they must have it.
So
And if they don't gather the information, that something is wrong.
a bigger issue there is data access and transparency.
I'm talking about transparency.
We
I'm
want more
totally-
transparency. I mean, I think that's a great
Yes.
way to
And-
approach it.
Yes, that's the good word, maybe. Yes, thank you, Rezwan.
I asked the manager about their use, and he said, no, they're not used by the inspectors for the reason given, but they are used by other people. And he told me who, and I don't remember.
Yes, but
exactly.
this is qualitative statement.
Yeah, is there, so Ted,
I mean, who, I just don't remember exactly
It
who.
doesn't matter whether you remember. We want to see a document.
so can I make a suggestion?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. So is there some sort of checkout document that someone at the township who works the township has to sign when they sign out a township vehicle?
Of course they do have all those. They should.
So what information gets recorded when they sign that out? And do they have to put what the use is? Because maybe there's a suggested sign out sheet that we recommend to go for the EV township vehicles. And then this way, that information gets recorded and we can use it to create an analytic evaluation of the EV use by Franklin Township.
The use in terms of mileage, and you could probably figure out how much gasoline was saved. That data is collected because that went into the fleet survey that we sent in to Sustainable Jersey, because that was 2 years ago, so it didn't have the electric vehicle data in it, but that data is collected. Now, the thing about battery maintenance, that I don't know.
Well,
So I'm suggesting we say name, the vehicle, if it's an EV vehicle or whatever the code is.
they have 10 of them,
Mileage.
right? So yeah.
Yeah, mileage.
LE,
And then if there's some sort of use that they're like, what are they,
Primary
what are
use.
they doing? The trip details, you know what I mean? Like, are they inspecting a home?
So-
Are they, what are they going to do? And then, whatever other pieces of information we think we need.
Right. The
and then
piece
we
of it,
can get
what we
this
need
use-
is,
What?
because for the longevity of the battery, it is critical not to keep the battery at 100%. So if those vehicles, I have vehicles, so I know how it works. They can set up the charging mode to be held up, which prevents charging to 100%. It will stop at about 87%. And I would like to see whether they are actually using that feature. Because when they plug it in without this feature engaged, it will charge to 100%. And if the next time somebody uses this car is in 1 week later, then the battery is just challenged. It's unnecessary to be at 100% all the time. And I would love to help them I would give them lesson about this. Nobody cares. We have, with our chapter, we have monthly meetings. Safi is on our mailing list. And I've never seen any interest from our chapter to help them to get the most out of the electric vehicles.
This is where a sustainability officer would be within their job description.
Forget
Right,
about
but you're
system.
still
I
gonna
would do this for free, you know?
But even with a sustainability officer, you're still going to need the people checking out the cars to give this information.
Right.
So listen, if you're gonna get people checking out cars, then it creates a burden for the electric vehicles. So you need to apply that to gas as well, and it could be
That's
part
why
of the transition.
That's why I put gas /
You
EV.
put the gas. Okay, good. Excellent.
Well,
It would be for I find it hard to believe they don't have some sort of sign out system that notes mileage and
Yeah.
time and all that kind of stuff. So
And then just add the charging data on that form. Make sure that they have a charging.
well, the charging can be obtained from the charge point network in aggregate. Okay, so they can take all the vehicles, count all the miles per month, and look into the charging per month, right? And then you know how much energy was used, how many miles was driven, and from there you can estimate how much gas you would need if you were driving gas. So it's all the SO, the sustainability officer, whoever can do this calculation. It's not too complicated. It's just you have to.
okay, so Stan, you're saying you don't want to do the sign out sheet. You would rather just go get the information from the charging station.
So I'm not saying that you hit the delete button. I'm just saying there are more ways how to do this. And they have already, they own the data today. Okay.
Is it realistic that we ask them for a report?
I don't know whether it's realistic. I would ask them.
Then why don't we?
What do
Send
you ask?
all, a list of what you want, and I'll put it in a letter to the manager and the director of public works.
Yeah.
You may not get all the things you want, but
If I don't get everything, I may not be able to calculate savings. I want to calculate for them the savings.
for instance, for calculating the savings, you don't need to know what employee used the
Of
vehicle.
course, I don't need to know. Oh, that's right. I don't need to know who is using it, but I would like to see, so they have 10 vehicles, right? It can give me in aggregate how many miles was driven per month, whatever.
Yeah, I think if we ask for how many miles were driven on electricity, basically that's what you want. And
yes,
I would put in a letter this point about not charging to 100% capacity.
yes.
Not. What I've written down, how the township is benefiting from its electric vehicles, how they are used and maintained.
Yes. I can talk to Sea Caucus. They were early on. Now Plainsboro got their first leaf, and they got one car, and they're so happy about it. They got 2 grants to get a really good discount on it, and they were presenting in our chapter meeting. Plainsboro, Anthony Kanko. We got also Mark Warner from Charge EVC, the organization that created the EV bill. Anyway. So Ted, yes, I'll send you the list, okay?
I just made one. Do you like this?
Wait a second, what did you, so Township, so forget about the name. I don't need the name. I don't really need the name. This is personal.
Stan, if you're gonna make somebody do a sign out sheet, it has to look legit. So they need to put their name on it. There's a vehicle ID or license plate, so you know what car it is, the mileage when it was picked up, the mileage when it was turned in, the trip details, which could be bigger, the gas or EV charge, and Actually, do you want?
No, they don't know. Oh,
Well, this is a table of what the township would have for each day of use, so to speak, who used it.
I think they would have
What
mileages,
you
but
want is the summary, really, of the mileage used by the electric vehicles. Then you don't know exactly what the gas equivalent would be for these vehicles. They're fairly small vehicles, but that's something you could probably get from Chevrolet or.
well, we can use reasonable estimate because we can actually match the car that is the counterpart here. So if they use the electric, if they don't use electric, what is the specific car that they would use here, right?
Oh,
To determine what you're looking for, what is trip details? What is that supposed to mean?
It would be like a home inspection, or you know what I mean?
I don't need to know these details.
Yeah, well, I don't know why that would be,
you're talking about two different things. There's an interest in who's using them for what. And then Stan is interested in really the technical details of their use.
Exactly. And how much is saving? How much are we using these cars?
So the trip details wouldn't be necessary for Stan, but they're necessary for the township.
No, they must be important for the township. If they don't care, it's a problem.
Well, that's what I said. They're necessary for the township, but not necessary for Stan to make that calculation.
To your point that they don't want to use it for however many jobs.
It's a separate thing.
No, but the trip details would give you that piece of data.
Well, essentially, these vehicles, each one would be assigned to a particular township employee. Safi, for instance, I remember Safi is one of the people that uses it. And that tells you something about what they're being used for. In Safi's case, she does so many different things, it doesn't tell you very much, but at least I can probably find out, because I think I was told once, what township employees are using them, and that gives you the commission the general idea of how they're being used. I mean, I don't even need to know names, I need to know job titles, so to speak.
Yes, yes.
And then there's the separate question of how many miles have they been used for? And then the third point is about the battery charge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll save this anyway.
Is it within sunshine law? If you send this document to me, I'll make some modification and send it to Ted that this is the document that I would like to have completed, or it's not fair?
I don't know. That's a
Well,
that's
I don't think, I mean, what you just showed, as I said, might be a document that the town would keep, because each line there would be a use each day.
Yes.
Several on a day.
yeah, there's no date in here.
Need or want or will get that amount of detail. What you want is summary. How much are they used?
Right, but so
Stan, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me? When I worked for a municipal government and
Is it Diane?
yes, I've been here since like
Hey,
8:30.
welcome.
Log my mileage every time I got gas, not every time I took the car out, because I took the car out all day, every day. And it would be like 10 different places I stopped at, or like, it was hard. It would be hard for me. I inspected, I did the 2 septic inspections I did, but when I got gas, I had to put what my mileage was currently so they could track the mileage from every time I
And
got
that would
gas.
be
They
fine
would
too. That would be fine
Would
too,
that
you
work?
know.
Like
Yeah,
grouping
yes,
it like that
yes.
every time they charge,
Because
they list the mileage.
separate piece of information here is that I want to ask the document from the ChargePoint network about the charging sessions and ID of the car so that I can assign to which car was drawing that amount of charge on given day.
So they should do that. They should log in every time they charge, so they know.
They may not log the amount of kilowatt hours. I don't know. If they do, fine. If they don't, I still want to see the data because Carl Hogg, he has access to that. He can put this information out. It is possible to match it.
Yeah. It seems like they need to be educated also on the use of these electric vehicles. Just letting them sit there isn't useful.
Exactly.
I mean, even if they don't have a use for them, like for inspections or something, why not let one of the like higher level like department heads that go to meetings and things, just let them take the car home then and just drive it back and forth to work or something.
I would be completely in agreement with that. That
Yeah,
it's legally, you know, acceptable. I don't know, but
yeah,
Safi, if she likes it, hey, be my guest.
right. Just drive the
Just
thing.
drive it. Go home, you know, with it.
To the point of summarizing the information, just, I don't know how many of you use Excel, but you can easily take this information and you can do what's called a pivot table. So once all the information is entered in, you'll be able to actually aggregate and organize the information by who.
I know.
By
I
all
know all those things, how to operate the database. Don't worry. I need the numbers.
But that's why I'm saying this is how it starts, because you can't get the data aggregated unless you start with some sort of log.
Yeah.
Likely to get the aggregate data.
But
Because
not overly.
As you said, ChargePoint would know the gross total of charging done.
Right. And the gross total is useful. And then you can also match that against what's in this document, which would be also you doing some due diligence. But knowing which employees are using the EV, that can help you maybe figure out if you need an advocate from inside to help petition for more, or in looking at what they're using it for. If you notice that the EVs are always being used for home inspections, are always being used for I don't know, you know, I just
errands. Yeah, errands.
You know, you can see that the EVs are being used on average for 2 hours at a clip or 1 hour at a clip. Like, I don't know how that information could be useful, but it could be. It's just analytics. It's just being able to take the information and use it to your.
If I were
by department
and Bob Vornlocker, I would say, who is the Environmental Commission to ask us to collect all of these data? I don't think
he knows it.
Because that if they're not already collecting that data, they're not going to.
So that's
part of the community energy master plan that we're trying to do with the Environmental
very first question is, shouldn't the township be logging who's taking out cars, when and where, and for what use anyway? They're township property. The taxpayers pay for them.
Yes.
Look, we're part of Sustainable Jersey, so that could be a part of the projects of tracking that information, and also community energy plan. This is very relevant data that we need to complete our work.
Like, to be honest, I go back to just I'm with you, Rezwan, but you want to hit people, you want to talk to these guys, and what most people are going to care about, it's, hey, you took my tax dollars and used it to buy cars. What are they being used for?
Okay,
exactly.
Susan.
we need help with this. Like, we need somebody from the town to tell us, like, why aren't they being used and how can we use them better? Because this is a really good way to even get the residents more into using electric vehicles. And
speaking from my heart,
it's just getting it's like an opportunity being lost, and it bothers me too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you the
Thank you.
EV usage.
I want to give them the freedom to choose what data they send, as long as it can be extracted and I can obtain the information that I need. I don't mind playing with the data. I've been doing it for years.
What happened to it? Oh. What happened? Here it is. Sorry. I have too many things on my desktop. It's been a pretty crazy couple weeks at work. Sorry. All right, I sent it to you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Are you sending it to me?
I just sent it to Stan. You want it to?
Well, if I'm going to make a request of the manager,
Well, Stan wanted to mock it up, so I sent it to him. So
if he wants to
send it to
pick
you.
it up, but
Well, yeah.
Anyway, I think Stan should edit it and then send it to you.
Well, the wild card is that I don't want to dictate exactly what they send if they don't have specific data.
Yeah, but you could send it.
Like I don't need to have the name of the employee. I don't want to be in the position that, hey, you know, I have some personal information, private information, because this is really what I don't need.
But it's not private information because it's a township use of a vehicle. It needs to be public. I'm sorry.
You could put tax department, health department, construction department,
Yeah.
planning department.
Department, okay.
yeah,
Okay,
So then,
department.
Stan, edit it
I'll
out to
play
the
with the
file
file. I'll play with the file.
So I just sent it to you. You edit it and send it to Ted.
Yes, I'll do it 24 hours.
Any other updates for old business?
Yes, Jessica, three things that I think we can push to the next meeting probably. I just want to mention them. One, there's been a lot of discussion about the sustainability officer that I don't think we discussed tonight, at least the length, and I think that should be a top priority on the next agenda if we're not going to talk about it tonight. And then the second thing is that Stan and I did a stream walk a couple of weeks ago that we had talked about at a previous meeting over by the Ukrainian church.
Didn't we already speak about it?
We did.
you emailed about it. We haven't discussed it in,
Yeah, we haven't discussed it during the meeting, I don't think.
Really?
And also, I think Robin, did you do some kind of a walk of some kind?
She's not here, is she?
mile run. Both Robin and I found the 3 mile run brook. And there's a rather short stretch exposed because it comes out of
It's called Raritan Brook.
culvert under what was Phillips Concrete. It's now where the school buses are stored. And then it goes under Route 27. There was not a lot of junk there. One tire, but not a lot. Mainly because it's very dense vegetation along 27, nothing could get thrown in.
Okay, I just see that you put sustainability officer, and then there were two different walks. The stream walk that Stan and I did,
Yeah.
and that was Raritan Brook, right?
Put that in here. I put 3 Mile Run Brook and Brereton Brook.
Okay, so it's two different things. Okay, gotcha.
All right.
Well, next
Walter, are you marking these for next week?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
next week or next month?
Next month,
Next month, August
Next month.
1st.
All right.
August 1st or something like that.
August 1st is
It's 9:15.
August 3rd.
August 3rd, okay.
The time is 9:15.
all right. We have
Yeah,
to.
I know. We are so
Public.
excited about our.
I
work.
Can I make a motion to open to the public?
Okay, a second.
Do we still